Greetings, gaming citizens. Mike here. If you saw my reactions to the Pokémon Presents from earlier this week, you may remember my skepticism about the battle simulation title Pokémon Champions set for launch next year. In my reaction video, I mentioned that I was confused at the premise of the game, as it felt like just an official battle simulator and not much else. Well, I decided to make this video because I wanted to expand on my brief thoughts from my reactions and offer my take on why Pokemon Champions makes me worried for the Pokemon community. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's take a moment to understand what Champions actually is and sets out to accomplish in the broader Pokemon franchise. Pokemon Champions is a battle-focused game that allows players to experience everything you love about Pokemon battles all in one place. This reads to me as the Pokemon Company creating their own battle simulator for players to experiment with, similar to the likes of Pokémon Showdown, but I'll get to that comparison later. Trainers can import Pokemon from Pokemon Home or use rental Pokemon in Champions to fight with. My first impressions of this was a modern take on Pokemon Stadium, as that game allowed you to rent Pokemon provided in the game or import creatures from your red or blue save data with the N64 transfer pack. Okay, so now we understand what Champions is. Seems like a relatively inoffensive creature battler that lets people mess around with different natures and EVs. So maybe TPCI is just trying to lower the barrier of entry for competitive VGC. However, I think this game is a catalyst for something bigger that can impact the entire Pokemon community, or at least a big chunk of it. Let's go back to how you choose your creatures for battle. The trailer says you can import Pokemon via Pokemon Home, but I want to call attention to how the rental system works. To recruit a Pokemon, you have to spend a currency called VP, and the trailer seems to suggest that you need quite a bit of it for certain creatures. VP is also used for modifying your Pokemon's natures, moves, and what looks like to be either IVs or EVs. I'm not sure which ones. I mentioned how the game felt like a modern take on Pokemon Stadium, but at least in those games, renting Pokemon was free. While the trailer neglects to mention how VP is obtained in the game, I don't think it's absurd to think that TPCI is looking into adding microtransactions to this game. While this is entirely speculation just based on the trailer, it wouldn't surprise me if this was another link in the chain of questionable monetization choices by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company with the Switch 2 era. Even in the same presentation, they announced Pokémon Friends, a collection of microgames meant to be played every day to create yarn plushies of various Pokémon. During the presentation, though, they neglected to mention that the game is $10 on Nintendo Switch, and that you could pay that same $10 on mobile platforms to play unlimited puzzles, as opposed to the 3 that you were limited to playing each day. This follows the trend of recent games not having their prices announced outright, such as Mario Kart World and Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. But fine, maybe you don't care that there could maybe be microtransactions in a Pokemon battle simulator. Fair enough. Not everyone will be super interested in that. I know I'm not really sold on Champions at all. My biggest worry is what this can mean for a certain fan-run website. Earlier, I mentioned how Pokemon Champions is similar to Pokemon Showdown, a fan-run site that serves as an in-depth battle simulator where you could test team metas and modify everything from moves to natures to IVs. My biggest worry about Champions is that TPCI will use this as a justification to take down Pokemon Showdown. I understand this may come off as wildly speculative, but is that really strange of an idea? I mean, look at how TPC attempted to take down Pal World. That game only existed for a few years. It would not surprise me if TPC saw Showdown as a threat to their bottom line and opted to make a battle simulator of their own so that they could charge microtransactions to make money off the same concept and take down Showdown, which has been a long-standing competitor, but I use that loosely. I know most of my videos are made with the intention of either being really excited about things or comedically looking back on the history of games, but I wanted to make this video as a longtime fan of the Pokemon series, and I really don't want to see things go in this direction. But I want to know your thoughts on Pokemon Champions. Do you think I'm overreacting about a 2-minute trailer, or do you think that this speculation may hold up when the game comes out next year? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also, while you're down there, let me know if you like videos like this, where I just talk about a piece of news and make a little video out of it. I did a similar thing with the Persona 4 remake, and a lot of you seem to really enjoy that, so this is me just giving that same concept another try. That's going to be it for me. Stay vibing and thriving, everyone. I will see you in the next one.